Hi there, this is Matt Wakeling and you're listening to the Guitar Speak podcast. This is my show that I produce in Sydney, Australia, and I speak to leading guitarists and guitar figures from all around the world. Welcome to our 2019 Look Back mini episode. Usually we are an interview show, as many of you will know, but today you've just got me for a few minutes looking back on what's been an excellent year and answering a few frequently asked questions. 2019 has been remarkable. We have dropped 26 brand new episodes, which does sound like one every 2 weeks, but as you know, they can pop out at any time. I'll be working on making that a little more frequent in 2020, but we're doing really well. We are, as I speak, we are the top rated guitar podcast on the Australian music interview charts, the Apple charts. So that's pretty cool, and we're doing really well in Europe and North and South America, in Asia. And I'm not sure where else, but it's pretty amazing to know that people around the world are listening and tuning in. So really, more than anything else for this episode, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to the episodes, for sharing them, and for being around. If people weren't downloading the episodes, there'd be no point in doing them. So thanks for tuning in every time. One really cool thing I got to do towards the end of this year was co-host an episode, well, it ended up being 2 episodes, with Stevie Taylor from the Gig Life podcast. And Stevie is a great podcaster. His show is wonderful. Please check it out. He talks to mainly Australian and New Zealand musicians, all sorts of instruments, vocalists. It's a really broad show, which is super cool. A bit of a broader view than this one. And Stevie's awesome, and he's done a few roundtables where he's interviewed a group of drummers or bass players. This time around doing guitar players, and he very kindly invited me to be part of that. Mainly, I thought to help him through, to convert some guitar language for him on the fly. We had some incredible professional guitar players from Sydney, and there'll be links to that show in the show notes for today. I will eventually publish those roundtables as well, but really head over to Stevie's site and support what he's doing there first. Now, sometimes IRL, in real life, I meet people who listen to the show. Sometimes they're mates of mine, sometimes they're people I've just met, and it's cool. It's great to meet people in person who are listening, and I often get asked a bunch of questions, so I'm going to share some of those today with the answers in the first ever Guitar Speak podcast frequently asked questions speed round. All right, here we go. When did you start the show? The show started in April 2016. Why did you start the show? I was and I am a huge podcast fan. Guitar has been a huge part of my life for most of my life, so it was a no-brainer to give it a crack. How do you get the guests to come on the show? It's a combination. Sometimes I reach out to people, sometimes artist management gets in touch with me. There's a couple of fantastic PR companies in Australia who I work with, especially when there are artists touring Australia. So big shout out to Marek Media and John Howarth. Those 2 guys especially have been wonderful to me. How do you record the podcasts? Most of my interviews happen over the phone or over Skype or FaceTime, something like that. I record into Adobe Audition or Cubase via a Steinberg audio interface. I'm using a Rode NT1 large diaphragm condenser, great Australian company, Rode mics. Often I record into a Fostex field recorder, a stereo field recorder, and then dump it all into Adobe or Cubase as well. Which distributor do you use? The show gets distributed by Libsyn, which is the largest independent podcast distributor in the world. Fantastic company, really great service. And I'll leave a link for them in my show notes. Do you ever get starstruck? I don't get starstruck. I don't get nervous about meeting someone who might be well known. I do think about 16-year-old Matt and wonder what he would think about me talking to one of his heroes growing up. So if I get to meet someone who had an impact on my life in my younger days, in my early guitar playing days, that's always cool. But it's amazing meeting people for the first time or finding someone's music and then having them on the show, which are newer guests as well. It's all pretty amazing. I'm pretty stoked I get to do it. How can people best support the show? The best way to support the show would be, I'd say, to share the episode. So get on your social media or follow us on social media and share our posts or make up your own and get the word out about the episodes. What are your plans for 2020? My plans for 2020, pretty simple. Just keep talking to interesting people about guitars, guitar playing, guitar building, guitar festivals, guitar albums, guitar stuff. That's about it. That's the plan. All right, that's it. That's the speed round FAQ. If you've got any other questions, please shoot me a line. If you go to guitarspeakpodcast.com, all of our links are there, our social media, how to subscribe to the show, how to buy a t-shirt, how to do all sorts of Guitar Speak podcast stuff. All right, that's about it. I just want to say again, thank you so much for tuning in 2019, whether this is your first episode or your 126th. I am super grateful that you are listening. And I can't wait to do more of it in 2020. All right, Happy New Year. See you next time.